Welcome back, everybody. I'm back checking out some more Noah Kahan. Kahan. Growing Sideways. Jessica over on Patreon has asked if I'd react to this. She mentioned, the album was like really important for her. I hope she doesn't mind me saying so. That it helped her out, in dark times. And I can relate to it. Ultraviolence by Lana Del Rey, man. That got me through some tough times. Maybe not even lyrically, I don't know. It's still my favourite album of all time, probably. It's been a long time since I listened to it, but I guess I didn't realise I was depressed, for years. I was probably pretty severely depressed for, I don't even know, 5 years, 6 years. And it was only when I came out with Rend that I realised what it was, and I don't even think that I thought depression was like a thing, really. I kind of was just like, you get on with it and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, listening to Lana Del Rey, Ultraviolence, man, got me through a lot. And I remember I would put it on a lot, and if I was with friends or living with people, they would just get sick of it, like, Jesus Christ, what are you listening to this, like, sad music for, But it really helped. But anyway, yeah, I really enjoyed Stick Season. Looking forward to checking out some more of his stuff.
So I took my medication and I poured my trauma out on some sad-eyed middle-aged man's overpriced new leather couch. And we argued about Jesus, finally found some middle ground, said I'm cured.
You're cured, mate.
And I divvied up my anger into 30 separate parts. Keep the bad shit in my liver and the rest around my heart. I'm still angry at my parents for what their parents did to them.
Fuck, that's like the nail on the head in the center of the hammer, isn't it, man? Let's start this again.
So I took my medication and I poured my trauma out on some sad-eyed middle-aged man's overpriced new leather couch. And we argued about...
Going back to the depression thing, actually, I remember going to the doctors. I think there was some vitamin deficiencies or whatever. Well, there was in the end, because I had a blood test, and I think it said I was lacking vitamin D or something. She was like, do you eat vegetables? And, well, I'm not going to get into that, man. It just made me realise that GPs in this country know nothing about, nutrition or food or nothing. Supplementing B vitamins, I think, helps my mental health as well a lot. So I'd recommend that if you're struggling as like a basic. Check out Gary Brecker. There's a guy, he talks about B vitamins because there's certain ones that they sell that just you can't absorb. Methyl something or other. I don't know. Just Google Gary Brecker and B vitamins if you need that. But anyway, I was in the GP's and she got me to fill in this form of, I guess how I was feeling, the thoughts I was having, but it was like a 1 to 5 thing, questions and stuff. And I didn't think I was doing too badly, man. But when I handed the thing back, her face, like, her demeanour changed from everything, from just general, like, doctory stuff to being, like, all caring and, like, I don't know what the words would be, but what do you want to do about it? And I didn't want to take medication. And I couldn't afford, to go to therapy. So she gave me a letter for the NHS therapist or whatever, which I never rang, I don't think, because somebody I knew on Facebook, like, coincidentally, like, the next day had complained that they'd waited, like, they'd got this same flyer or whatever from the doctor, and they'd waited like 18 months to get a session with somebody, and then the session got cancelled like 3 times, 4 times in a row, So I thought, fuck that, man. I did go and see a therapist when I was at school briefly. I was like 8, 9. I didn't enjoy that experience either. But this is interesting. We argued about Jesus. All right, let's start it again.
So I took my medication and I poured my trauma out on some sad-eyed middle-aged man's overpriced new leather couch, and we argued about Jesus. Finally found some middle ground.
There is value in therapy, I do know, you know.
Cured. And I divvied up my anger into 30 separate parts. Keep the bad shit in my liver and the rest around my heart. I'm still angry at my parents for what their parents did to them, but it's a start.
So that's something recently, I guess, I've been going through as well, you know. Even just like a couple of years ago, I was still thinking my childhood was pretty good, you know, when it wasn't really, you know. Single father, bringing up me and my two sisters, you know, the usual thing, I guess. Is that minimizing it? Say the usual thing, you know, but not enough money, you know, like barely none, you know, not enough money, not enough attention, not enough guidance, enough love. I don't know, you know. It's one thing to say. It's a weird thing, like, because in my family, everyone would say "I love you," you know, a lot. But to the point where it kind of, I guess my dad would say it, my nan would say it. It just kind of lost all meaning, you know. It was like, I don't know, just desensitized to it or whatever. And then I'm like, what is love, you know? It's in your actions, isn't it? You know, it's in the things you do. It's in the behaviors, I guess. And I guess the problem, I don't know, the conundrum that I'm having like inside myself now is to, I was so grateful, I think, to get away from, I'm careful what I'm saying here now, but I just couldn't criticize my dad, I suppose, for a long time. And I suppose, like, you can be, was he a bad parent? I'm not sure he was a good parent, you know. Wasn't very good at it. I don't think he was very good at life, you know. Does that mean he was a bad person? We're made up of a multitude of things, aren't we? You know, good and bad. And that's like what's that thing? Is it like an ancient Egyptian thing about weighing your soul against a feather in the afterlife to get to the afterlife or something? And it's not so black and white, is it? You know, I mean, there are terrible people out there, aren't there? You know, so who is to decide? I guess, you know, where you draw the line. But I guess a problem that I guess my dad had, his parents had certainly was ignorance, you know, ignoring things or not questioning things, you know. It seems that nobody in my family really is properly curious. You know, it's just the way it is, you know. Like even to the point where you know your place and things, you know. Like, I think my dad like thought that, you know, people were better than him, you know, of different like social levels. It's weird. It's a weird thing because we've got the class system here, you know, but I think he genuinely like revered like the royal family and the queen and stuff, you know, which I find like balmy, like crazy. That my nan was the same, you know, just loved the royal family. And I still like struggle to work out what that is all about. And am I like anti-monarchy or anti-royalist? I'm not sure, because I have watched a few things in recent years about like the cultural sort of importance of monarchies or how psychologically that can affect, you know, or keep societies together in different ways. I mean, the kind of monarchy that we have anyway right now, where I'm not talking about the monarchies that where they're still chopping off people's heads, and in charge of everything. What's it called? It's like constitutional monarchy. Is that it? I'm not sure what the phrase is for it, but and I'm sure they do have wield much more power than we're led on. But that's beside the point. The point is, my dad thought, I suppose, even like architects or things, or lawyers or solicitors or doctors, he thought these people were better than him somehow. But and then towards the end, like, of his life, my dad used to like say things like, "Why is God picking on me?" And I think that's just, is that a failure to understand life? Because I mean, it's difficult to say, isn't it? Like, because some people do have it like crazy bad, don't they? So maybe God is picking on you. Like, what is that all about? The universe is picking on. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, when he says here, it's a start just to realize like what you're angry about, I suppose. And I guess I was angry about everything for a long time. Everything, well, most things. I don't know.
At my parents,
But look at that, man. I've spoken for like 12 minutes and there's only 30 seconds in.
what their parents did to them, but it's a start. But I ignore things and I move sideways till I forget what I felt in the first place.
Word, brother.
End of the day, I know there are worse ways to stay alive. 'Cause everyone's growing and everyone's healthy. I'm terrified that I might never have met me. Oh, if my engine works perfect on empty, I guess I'll drive.
So that's those. Some of those lines are interesting as well, like loads to unpack. Where did we get to? So, I mean, I don't even know where to start with this. Yeah, I ignore things and move
I
sideways.
ignore things and I move sideways until I forget what I felt in the first place.
And that's what we do, isn't it? With external things, I guess. Recently, I know I said in a reaction about trying to be Zen, and somebody in the comments mentioned, be wary of it, repressing things. But that's not what I meant, because I spent most of my life repressing things unconsciously for sure. But I think learning to be still or calm and like not let your emotions rule you, I suppose. Perhaps when you're on your own, that's the time to let it out, but not to be swayed or external things, external frustrations, whatever it is, to be able to remain calm no matter what is happening in your life. I think that is a superpower. But the repression sort of comes from, I don't know, is it possible or probable to be able to repress things without the aid of external distractions, whether that's booze or food or, some kind of self-destructive behavior? I mean, is that possible to do? I don't know. So, I don't know, that's just where I'm at now. It's like trying to, when things rise up in me, trying to acknowledge them, but also through vigorous exercise, through voluntary discomfort, which you know, cold exposure, cold showers, ice baths, vigorous exercise, breath work, yoga, you know, just trying to engineer myself internally, you know, to function more efficiently, I suppose. And making commitments to myself, you know, to move forward. The phrase I heard the other day was, if you commit to nothing, you'll be distracted by everything, you know. So you need something to move forward to, don't you?
At the end of the day, I know there are worse ways to stay alive.
These backing vocals sound lovely.
'Cause everyone's growing and everyone's healthy. I'm terrified that I might never have met me.
That's an interesting line, because that's not something I can relate to. I'm terrified that I might never have met me, because I find hypothetical extremely difficult to get my head around. You know, people say, well, if this happened, you know, what would you do in this situation? Find it nearly impossible to know or to understand. But yeah, I'm terrified that I might never have met me. That's like, so he's terrified that he wouldn't have woken up to his real self, you know, to have got to be the person he is now, right? But from my point of view, I'm like, I can't even. How can you be terrified that something? Is that like is that neurotic? Is that some sort of neurosis? Is that some kind of like glitch or record sticking? Because how can you be terrified for that concept? Like, that's not how time works. You know what I mean?
Oh, if my engine works perfect on empty, I guess I'll drive. I guess I'll drive. So I forgot my medication, fell into a manic high. Spent my savings at a Lulu, now I'm suffering in style.
What's a Lulu?
Why is pain so damn impatient? Ain't like it's got a place to be, keeps rushing me. But I ignore things and I move sideways till I forget what I felt in the first place. At the end of the day, I know there are worse ways to stay alive. 'Cause everyone's growing and everyone's healthy. I'm terrified that I might never have met me. Oh, if my engine works perfect on empty, I guess I'll drive. And if all my life was wasted, I don't mind, I'll watch it go. Yeah, it's better to die numb than feel it all.
That's yeah, that's a sad thing, isn't it? I suppose. I mean, that's not like, if all my life is wasted, it's better to die numb than to feel at all. I think I've been blessed with unwavering optimism, I suppose, enthusiasm. Maybe my enthusiasm waned, but my optimism is the fears I've got that I can relate to. You know, is not fulfilling my potential. It's not even that. You know, if I never achieved anything of note, you know, as long as I'd given it a good go and I felt like I'd given it a good go, you know, I'd learned stuff on the way, that would be cool, man. It's the fear of, yeah, it's that kind of thing anyway, you know. But even when I was like depressed and manic, uh, I just always thought, you know, one day it's going to get better. You know, there's a great scene in Peaky Blinders in season 5, is it, when there's that guy Barney who's like in a cell, and he's gonna get broken out of there, you know. But I think before that happens, he gets offered a suicide. I mean, this guy's in, you know, he's in a straitjacket. You know, he's a former sniper out from the war, traumatized and that, and he's been in there for God knows how long, you know. And he gets offered the pill, you know, that he can take to kill himself. And he's like, nah, I don't want it. And they're like, why not? And he's like, because tomorrow might be better, you know. And I'm just like, man, I was never in that kind of dire straits, I suppose, but that's a feeling I relate to, you know. And I'm aware that a lot of people don't feel like that or have that. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I've experienced real despair and confusion and everything. But I don't know what it is. Is it a delusion? As you know, up until this point, I've achieved nothing of artistic note. You know, I feel like I've written some pretty good songs. You know, a lot of crap songs as well. You know, but as I've said before, you know, like songs in a vacuum. Like, so what? You know, it's people that give them the energy and make them something great. You know, so that remains to be seen over the coming years, I suppose. And the same with acting, you know. But I feel like there's something in me that, like, I've never felt any different to the people, like whether it was growing up, you know, getting into Freddie Mercury, John Lennon, Eric Cantona. I never saw myself as different from them, you know. It's not like really they were my heroes or people I looked up to, although perhaps I did. And that, like, is that like an arrogant thing to say or a delusional thing to say, you know? Even though I have so far, I'm not anywhere near the realms of any of those people, you know. Taylor Swift or whatever, you know. I mean, how the hell is anyone ever going to reach, you know, Taylor Swift levels? But you know what I mean? And I'm not expecting to reach those levels, you know. But you know, could I be in some films? Could I do some performances? Could I write some songs that meant something to people, you know? Maybe that's what it is. Well, I can't remember if I was saying it in this reaction or my previous one to All the Girls You Loved Before Taylor Swift, because I'm recording them one after the other, about, you know, success and money and fame. Like, is that what I'm looking for, you know? As much as I want to do good work in my life for my own satisfaction, to know that I can do it, is it about people patting me on the back and going, oh yeah, that's great? I don't know if it is, but to make people feel something, you know, like to put good into the world. Maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe it's all of the things, like, but I don't know. Yeah, is it? Am I delusional? Is it an arrogance? Is it a confidence? Is it? I don't feel like I could have done, or I don't feel like I could have done anything different on my journey to being in my artistic journey in my life. Yeah, you know, probably. I don't know, it just feels like now, it just feels like I'm supposed to be here right now, And I have a difficult time, I think, with thinking, fate or, because then that takes out that if I subscribe to that, then it takes away the idea of free will and stuff, doesn't it? And gets into like determinism. So if it's all written, like maybe there are certain points that are written. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about now, but it's better to die numb than feel it all. But so he's talking about pain, I suppose, right? Or the fear of pain. But the thing is that we don't get not to feel pain, I suppose, unless you're going to numb yourself through medication or other behaviors, right? Because you need to choose between the pain of action or the pain of regret. You've got to pick your poison.
Then feel it all. Oh, if all my time was wasted, I don't mind, I'll watch it go. Yeah, it's better to die numb than feel it all.
I mean, he's singing this from the point of view of when he was depressed and stuff, isn't it?
Sideways till I forget what I felt in the first place.
Because, I mean, if you really believe that, would you be writing the song about it? I don't know.
At the end of the day, Lord knows there are worse ways to stay alive. 'Cause everyone's growing and everyone's healthy. I'm terrified that I might never have met me. Oh, if my engine works perfect on empty.
These lines are confusing me a little bit as well, so enlighten me if you've got a different perspective on it. But yeah, so everyone's growing, everyone's healthy. Is that just the way it seems when you're down, like you're the only one that's feeling that way, maybe? Because, yeah, in my experience, if you look closely, or probably not even closely at all, most people aren't growing, are they? They stay the same. They do the same things. They think the same way for all of their life, and what a waste of life that is, I think. And yeah, people aren't healthy, are they? Physically, mentally, spiritually, like, yeah.
I guess I'll try.
And what's this line about? Running on empty. I guess I'll drive. If I work perfect on empty. Nearly half an hour I've been chatting on then. Yeah, man. Well, it's important stuff to sing about, man. And yeah, I can see why this is an important album for a lot of people, man. Yeah, cool. Look after yourselves, man, talk to someone if you need it, reach out, take your B vitamins, drink your water, move your body if you can, love to, yeah. See you later.